Hi, Jim Ziegler, the Alpha Dog, and today we're talking to my good friends at Dealer Teamwork. And you say, what is dealer teamwork? What are you living under a rock? Teamwork makes the dream work. There you go.
Hi, Jim. Great to see you. I hope you're doing awesome.
What's up, Jim?
Hey, okay, these guys, when I say good friends, I'm talking about decades. I'm talking about, I've known this guy when his hair was dark. I mean, we go way, way back. You know, he was in a little different shape when I first met him. Anyway, James Klaus, Chief Sales Officer, Dealer Teamwork. Hello.
How are you today, Jim?
I'm having the best day of my entire life. You know, it's exciting. Everything's good. I couldn't tell you, how good things are going.
That's fantastic.
And the Camaro King, Eric. No, actually, yeah, brand new. You got that 2021 or 22 Corvette?
No, it's a 21. You knew me back when I had hair, Jim.
Oh, I did, and you were taller. Oh, we go way, way back. 2021 Corvette. I bet you get some people waving at you and stopping you on the street. And
All the time. It's pretty cool.
oh man. And the CEO, Chief Bottle Washer, my good friend for many, many years, Sean Stapleton. Hello, big guy.
How are you, Jim? Always great to see you, and please give our love to Debbie.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we are living the dream. We're in Shadow Line Country Club in Atlanta, and we got a brand new puppy. Sadie passed away last year, so we got a new King Charles Cavalier, and I think somebody inbred this one with a termite, eating all the furniture. Life's good. So we suffered through COVID together. The industry has had its ups and downs, and all of a sudden we have the inventory shortage. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. So dealers are doing record profits, record months, and some of these fools actually think they had something to do with it.
Thank God for the grosses, because it's, inventory is difficult, but the great operators are taking a tremendous advantage. People are pulling back, and either you're pulling back or you're pushing forward. And I got a lot of operators that are pushing forward, even though they got inventory issues, to prepare for when they're not going to have it. And they're going to have a tremendous advantage over the people that are pulling back and taking a deep breath. I would see this as a great opportunity to go get market share and to pick up more customers cheaply, and then remarket to them when your inventory pops back up.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you guys will absolutely put leads in the dealership, and I mean buyers, and the fact that buyers right now don't have the inventory to match up, that doesn't matter. Dealers cannot hide under a rock right now. James, what are you experiencing?
Well, I talked to a lot of dealers, and one actually, April Simmons, just hopped on. Hey, April.
Hey, April, awesome operator. Fabulous.
I can guarantee you one thing. At April's group, she is absolutely pushing the needle forward, looking on ways to grab customers out of the service drive, looking at ways of gathering new customers, conquesting other dealerships, because, there's the long game and the short game, Jim. Now's our chance to play that long game, to work ahead, to work on our business, not at our business. The cars you got are sold. The cars you got coming in are mostly sold. So let's play the long game and get ready for late 2021 and 2022 and just knock it out of the park. I mean, we can make excuses or we can make profits.
The bubble is going to burst. This is not going to continue. And dealers are going to have to not only be aware of generating the business, there's going to come a time when you're sitting on a whole lot full of overpriced inventory.
That's a scary thing. If you're James, if you're selling cars at over MSRP right now, what's that going to do to your trade-in cycles? What's that going to do to your customers that are underwater in the short-term future? One of the big groups here in Minneapolis has chose to sell cars at MSRP and not hit them, harder than that, because they want that person back in market 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I don't know what this is going to do other than put people underwater pretty aggressively for quite a while.
Yeah, when you sell a car for $5,000 too much, and We got, for instance, Ford Motor Company is sitting on thousands and thousands of F-150s waiting for chips. And when those chips are put in those trucks are going to go cheap. It's going to knock down the used car market tremendously. You can buy a new one because they're General Motors, Ford, Toyota. They're going to heavily incentivize the cars they didn't sell.
James and I were talking about that yesterday. James goes, "Look how many F-150s I can see from the satellite view." You're going to see those things flying out on the rail cars real soon, as soon as they can, and they're going to flood the dealers with inventory, right, James?
I mean, I don't think the manufacturers really want to sit on inventory. And there's some companies out there like Ford Motor Credit that hasn't gotten any floor plan cash in about a year now. So I'm sure they are eager to load up some lots. Looking at 20 Group financials, I've noticed that flooring costs are almost gone, and that everybody, now the goalpost went from here on the 20 Group to the whole thing. So we'll see what happens, but I have a feeling they're going to flood the market. And dealers are going to have some explaining to do, because you're going to have to justify why you charged me this at the time and why you're only giving me X on my trade or trying to trade me up, trade me out, et cetera. So, it'll be interesting. But again, when the banks that back these OEMs haven't gotten paid in a year, they're going to want to push a lot of inventory out there.
They're going to want to push a lot of inventory. I had one of the top automotive CPAs in the country on one of my broadcasts here about 2 weeks ago. Ken Rosenfield, and he was talking about the same thing with floor planning and what the manufacturers are going to do when they do have the chips again. When they've already got production. They haven't stopped producing cars. They just have stopped producing cars and trucks they can sell right now. Eric, what's your drift?
Well, it's simple. From what we've seen across the board, the smart dealers right now and the smart marketers are leveraging this as a time simply to build traffic, regardless of the inventory levels. And by doing that, they're doing one simple thing. They're building better audiences, more audience data, better audience data, so that they can target these people when they do have more inventory or when it's the appropriate time to reach those people. Again, this is the time. On top of that, the smart dealers are also, Jim, they're retaining customers. And they're putting in the measures to be able to keep these dealers to keep these customers in place long term. Because as James said, this is the time you build for the long game right now. This is not just sitting around, as you said in the beginning, Jim, to sit on your hands and rest on your laurels like that. Because the time it will get tougher in terms of vehicle pricing coming down, customers being upside down on trade-ins longer term. It's going to be a different environment. So those dealers,
there's going to be blood in the streets.
It's just going to be harder. But again, our job is to be able to be that smart partner behind the scenes that can work with those dealers that are well prepared and have the right mindset to put those actions in place now. I mean, the dealers that aren't planting the seeds right now and plowing that field are going to miss even bigger opportunities down the road. I've always said the best time to do to start any type of efficient campaign, whether it's SEO, local, paid, whatever you need to do, was a year ago. The next best time, obviously, is today. So just you gotta think like that.
We not only do we have to think like that, but the dealers that musical chairs. You ever play musical chairs when you were a kid? I mean, you're 6 years old and they're playing the music, and then she stops the music, and one kid hasn't got a chair.
That's the one that's out.
That's the one that's out, and that's what's going to happen with inventory right now. All of a sudden, you're going to be stocking up and you're going to have this overpriced inventory, and then there isn't going to be a chair.
I think Matt on the Facebook user said it. The demand is there. Couldn't be more right. We're not seeing less search. The consumer, whether they need a car, doing a trade-in, hit a deer, whatever it might be, get one for college, their kid. There's still lots and lots and lots of people that are buying and looking for cars. It's just a little different. We call it a COVID lot, Jim. That's when you line your cars up more than 6 feet apart now because the inventory's low.
Oh, I used to checkerboard cars. I mean, this is not a new thing at all. I don't know if you ever checkerboarded inventory, but when I was actually actively in the business, we've had inventory shortages before. I mean, this wasn't the first time. You would park the cars like 10 feet apart on the front line, and then the second line you would aim the headlights right between to give the customer the illusion you had a lot more inventory than you did.
Jim, did you see that last comment a Facebook user made? Somebody said, when is a customer not upside down? It's not that they're not going to be upside down. It's going to, or that there's going to be even more of it. It's just that the greater discrepancy because of those prices that the customers are buying at now. Obviously, if somebody's buying a used car, even in the last 6 months, or especially in the last 30, 60, 90 days, and they go to trade that car in, even if it's a year from now, 18 months from now, that's some of these customers, unfortunately, they're paying, they're paying through the nose for that. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult, obviously, to get that customer to take that trade when we have to, unfortunately, price those vehicles, even lower because of the demand, or
book
just because
value is always going to, on pre-owned, is always going to depend on supply in the marketplace. I don't always agree with V-Auto, but I would definitely agree with V-Auto on that when the market is glutted on any specific model, the price goes down and the demand goes down. Absolutely. So we're gonna have some interesting times. The problem with upside down has always been is that car people are weak. I'm talking to you and the audience. As a generality, we're weak at getting down payment from the customers. Customers not invested in the cars. There is no equity reduction in cash. I mean, you're very bad at it. Through the years as a consultant, I have had success because I've been able to get down payment from the customers, and nobody's doing that. But back to the original premise, we can't stop selling. We can't stop marketing. Now that is where we came in with dealer teamwork in the beginning of this thing. Tell me about what you guys do.
Go for it, Eric. James.
Well, you know what? I'll tee it up. I'll hand it back over to you, James. We've said this a million times, James. I'll share it again. Early on, we, as former dealers, collectively, we all realized what the initial problems were. As being, as dealers, as being marketers, as salespeople, etc. And that was very, very simple. It was making sure that customers could not only find the inventory online, but they also got relevant information around the pricing and made sure that they were able to act on that. Well, as a former dealer that did that, trying to put prices manually on a couple thousand vehicles was literally impossible. So we took a simple idea and we automated that, and we've iterated it for well over 5 years now. And it's just a simple marketing automation platform that allows you to create, distribute, and manage your inventory and your transactional data to wherever the shopper may be. That's a very, very simplistic approach to it. James, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, and dealer teamwork, we really made a commitment to one thing, and that's to be an outcomes-based agency. We're going to bring the dealer the outcomes they're looking for. And not all marketing campaigns are the same, and not all the outcomes the dealership's looking for are the same. So, such as if you're looking for more phone calls, more chats, whatever, those are outcomes. So, like Eric spoke about, we had our MPOP platform, and then we've added something pretty incredible to our MPOP platform, which is our MPOP Analytics, or our business intelligence platform, which will tell us exactly which campaigns are working, which aren't, and where to spend people's money to get the best results and the best outcomes. Now, we've also paired all that with Google My Business, with local SEO solutions, with cars for sale, etc., to make sure that we can merchandise every car in a dealer's inventory. We can distribute all of that content out to all of the media channels, whether paid, whether organic, whether Google My Business, whether local SEO, you got to own your backyard, etc. But we did this all using our proprietary platform and now our business intelligence tools to ultimately serve the dealer, make their lives easier, and help them distribute their content and their message in a very easy way. Because remember, Google My Business and Cars for Sale will change the way our industry shops for
Now
cars.
that's where I want to go with this conversation in a second. Google My Business, Cars for Sale. Everybody talks the talk. Nobody understands it completely. And we're starting to get Cars for Sale has just recently been released by Google anyway. I mean, all of a sudden we got this whole new parameter that we can use, and a lot of people aren't using it because they don't even know it exists, or they don't know how to structure it. You guys are on top of it, I know. By the way, a Facebook user on the side has no name, and the reason for that is that person is being broadcast to in one of the private groups, and when you're in a private group, Facebook will not release their names. So they post anonymously as a Facebook user. Facebook won't identify them because they're watching in a private group. So anyway, talk about what you're doing that's brand new, Eric. Now, you're saying that you're using GMB, you're using Cars for Sale. What are you doing with it?
Well, first off, let's establish a baseline simple fact. It's just a simple stat in terms of how important is your local traffic and why should you even be doing that in the first place. I mean, search categories in terms like, where to buy and near me type of topics, especially mobile queries, Jim. Those have grown over 200% over the last 2 years. So if you don't understand the why, you're missing a big piece of this. And then after you can finally wrap your head around that concept, being able to essentially hang a digital signage, if you will, when you do a type of search on your phone, based on your location, Google's going to give you what's called a knowledge box. And that knowledge box, one of those fields is your Google My Business, what we like to call a local landing page as well. And that local landing page has the ability basically to engage and connect with and convert any type of local shopper based on their intent. So let's say somebody searches car dealership near me, or even just Ford dealership near me. Even
okay, car dealership near me, Ford dealership near me. What happens? You don't
necessarily know what their intent is when they search that. They want to do something there. It could be to go to the website, could be to call, could be to leave a review, maybe just read reviews because they haven't bought, or again, leave a review because they did buy. So there's the point being, there's so many different things that they obviously want to try to do. So they've given you, Google that is, has given us a nice palette, if you will, to be able to put in all this information, again, to attract and connect and convert with these shoppers, whatever their intent may be. Now, most dealers, unfortunately, they don't fill in the fields, like James said in the beginning. They don't use the fields that Google's given them. They don't tag it properly, so you can't track it. They're not giving them the rest of the content to match their potential intent. They, essentially they're using a tiny, tiny little fish scooper to pick up all of these people in their backyard, when Google's giving them the biggest casting net possible to be able to pick up all the fish in the sea. So, there's a great opportunity there. Again, most dealers just don't seize that.
The dealers in Georgia absolutely need to reach those California buyers.
And that's the thing. There's so many different ways to reach out and connect with these dealers. But again, the biggest possible way, besides obviously direct traffic to the website, is again people starting with these long tail searches and these longer tail type of intent based searches. And when they search that, they want to act on that. It's been proven. We don't even need to go over those numbers anymore, because everybody should understand that when somebody searches locally and they hit a Google My Business page and they find the location, especially after clicking maps, they wind up acting on it. Sean has said it for years. People buy buy tomorrow what they search for today. It's a simple behavior. And that's all we're doing is, again, as James has said earlier, what we're doing is we're just creating another distribution channel to create and publish and distribute this relevant content, in the way that the customer is expecting to get it. Make it simple.
Whoa. Lightning just hit my house and it sent an electric shock through my headset, throughout my body. I don't know if you heard that boom just now, right in the middle of the broadcast. Lightning just hit the house.
I thought it was all the facts I was spitting out, but otherwise.
It just went completely through my body, through my headset, just like. So excuse me if I
electrifying personality, Jim.
Jumping was not part of what I wanted to do there. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Eric. It just
no worries, no worries. James, did you see that question somebody had just asked about leasing?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
There it is. That was Autumn Marie.
Hi, Autumn. So opinion of leasing is always going to come back to one thing. What's right for the customer? I mean, if there's good lease residuals and you can get them a good lease rate and they're going to be back in the market in 2 or 3 years and it's the proper situation for that customer, fantastic. Jim, you got something?
No, just my wife's just coming. Did you hear that? We're live. We're live on the air, Debbie. I'm live on the air, Debbie. Thanks. Lightning just hit the house. I was part of it.
Hey, I don't know who you use for
These
Wi-Fi.
guys for teamwork are electrifying.
Yeah. But leasing all comes down to what's right for the consumer. And we got to remember that we do serve the people that come into our dealerships. So if purchase works best for them, have them purchase the car. If it's a lease, have them lease it. Look at your rates, look at your residuals. Right now, personally, I'm, depending on where residuals would be, I might be more prone to lease because I don't know if the car can retain that value, and I don't want to retain that value, and I could sell that all day long.
Well, I'll tell you, honest to goodness, I just leased a brand new Lincoln Aviator. I'm not a month into that lease, or just a little bit over a month, and of course, I was lucky enough that as a vendor that does business with Ford, I was an A-plan buyer. But leasing right now would make a lot of sense for the consumers and for the dealers.
It's pretty safe bet right now because James said it well. You don't know the residual on these cars. So, buy only half the car and wait another 36 months to see where it's going to be. But I think
you can still make the grosses now. By the way, the lenders have already factored in the increased values of the cars. That is already factored into the residuals. So right now, the answer is you really need to step up leasing. Autumn Marie is 100% right with that premise. Step up leasing, and you're not going to be burning your customers, and the residuals are going to reflect, so the lessor is going to end up eating the losses.
Well, Sean, tell Jim about the dealers when they tell us, oh, we don't do leasing.
They don't do leasing because nobody knows how to. It's funny. We'll have a dealer in, let's make it up, Texas. One on one side of the street that does, 4% or less leasing. The dealer across the street does 75+% leasing. It's because if you don't offer a lease payment, you can't do leasing. At the end of the day, it's about choices and options. The more choices and options and personalizing the opportunity for the customer to do it the way they want, the better. The more that you allow them to pick and choose what's best for them is going to give you the best result. James,
there are some wonderful how to lease cars on my Ziegler On Demand platform for free. If you need some training for free on how to present a lease to a consumer in a way that they understand, because one thing I always see people saying, well, at the end of the lease, you can buy the car. Why would you tell a customer that? No, Mr. Customer, you own the car unless you decide not to.
Correct.
I mean, you own the car. If the car takes a loss, the lessor eats it. If the car makes a profit, you keep it. And that is a simplicity way to present a lease. And well, you can buy the car at the end. Oh, now you're telling them they don't own it. You've already told them they don't own it. You can buy it at the end of the lease. You morons, slap them. So anyway, dealer teamwork. You've got ways right now. You've got some free things you're giving away. What is that, Eric?
Well, we got a couple great things. If somebody wants to take a quick snapshot of their local visibility, we've got a great link that you can just put in your name, address, and phone number or zip code rather of the dealership, and you get a quick scan of just what your local visibility looks like. Wait a second,
you're giving away a tool. Everybody pay attention. Get your pens and pencils out. Pencils, nobody has pencils. Get your pens out. Get your keyboards out. Let me tell you right now, they're going to give you something for free that you can absolutely measure your visibility in the market. You think you're doing a good job? How do they do this, Eric?
Just click that link that Jim's going to put on the bottom of the screen there.
What is the link?
In your dealership name. It's on dealerteamwork.com.
Is it cars for sale or is it?
No, the other one, the local SEO audit.
Is
Just
this
all you
one
got to do is very
this
simple.
one right here?
Yeah, very simple. Put in your dealership info. There's 3 lines you got to put in there. You can run that scan yourself. They'll give you a link, or you can even download that as a PDF. But just take a quick look at this. And as Jim said, if you think you're doing a good job on your local visibility, again, how easy is it for your local customers to actually find you? Here's one of the biggest things. This is actually about 20% of the local ranking factors involved for Google to be able to determine, is this an authoritative, legitimate business? That's all they're looking for, to give better results for local shoppers.
You can analyze how effective your dealership is, your SEO is, and if you've got an agency, this is agnostic.
Yes.
Absolutely agnostic.
Even if you don't want to go with us, Jim, just do a quick audit. See how honest they are, and see if there's an opportunity to improve, or feel really good about what you're doing.
And everybody's heard this, Jim. Everybody should understand by now. It's ad nauseum at this point, but at this point of the game, everybody's name and address and phone number and business description and other things like that, like photos and just other key elements of the local consideration that Google looks at. You should have those in place. They should be accurate. They should be consistent. But again, the problem exists, and we all did this as dealers in our former lives. Trying to keep that stuff active and updated and current is next to impossible to do manually. And so we've got a great system to be able to manage that for you seamlessly behind the scenes.
So dealer team can absolutely maximize your SEO. It's a mechanical learning process. I mean, let's face it. But you've got proprietary technology that can do this.
And this isn't the end-all, be-all, final smoking gun solution, but this is the magic bullet type of thing. This is this is one of many elements that should be part of every dealership's toolbox in terms of being able to execute at the level that you need to be to give yourself that competitive advantage over the other people in the market. It's that simple. There's this, and there's a lot of other things to it. And then the other great example, if you want to share the cars for sale link as well, check this out. If you haven't seen it yet, this is the newest opportunity to be able to enhance your Google My Business even further.
You can actually put inventory on what? On your Google My Business?
Absolutely. So you've got your inventory shown up there. This is going to be a significant next step in terms of both customer behavior, the way they search, the way they interact. Obviously, the way that we can track it, that's one of our advantages as well. It's just the ability to be able to give the activity and campaign data that comes from these clicks. So these things are, these are all valuable pieces of that mix. And again, the list goes on, but we at least want to raise the awareness around a few of those key items, that are, right at the top of that priority scale right now. And again, as I said, the list goes on, right, James?
We got a good friend of mine, Chip Valinsky. Now, Chip, is a general manager dealer. He's been a friend of mine. His nickname is the Spoon because he was spoon fed from birth. If any of his staff is listening, don't let Chip live down the fact his nickname is the Spoon. Okay, got that, the Spoon. Well, anyway, Chip says we're training our staff on all things leasing. Very smart thing to do, Chip. Chip, go to ZieglerOnDemand.com and look at some of my leasing training modules. You will see it's free, no obligation. I'm totally free. Sponsors are paying for it, like these guys. So go to ZieglerOnDemand.com. And all things training for leasing. You'll see some of the best lease training in the world. And my F&I school, my complete F&I school's there. So anyway, anything you guys want to say to Chip before I take that message down?
Oh, good luck, Chip. We'll be happy to help you. We believe that the more choices and options you give customers for personalizing payments, the faster you can drive a good deal for both.
Okay.
So, Andy Carr, happy birthday, Andy.
Local citations is the last thing you want your SEO partner tinkering with. this is one of the rare cases I believe in automation when it comes to marketing. So I think he's agreeing with you. Now, like I say, when it says Facebook user, the reason his name isn't displayed or her name isn't displayed is because they're posting out of a private group, and Facebook will not really reveal the names in a private group. So not because we're withholding your name from anybody. Okay, what comment on that, guys?
Yeah, Jim, what we did is we took the Unpop and extended. Our merchandising personalization optimization platform now extends to LSEO and GMB. So we're taking the inventory feed every day and we're updating it multiple times a day for your inventory, your posts. So if you have an event or you want to promote a new vehicle or an offering, the technology now has penny perfect offers that will post up to 3 times a week. You know, it just selects the vehicle for new, used, and fixed ops. We also put the cars for sale in it. It automatically puts the UTM tags in place so we can show the dealers what the traffic is, where it's coming from, what keywords we should be optimizing on, what inventory people in your market are searching for, and then compare that across to conversions. You got a pretty good understanding of what the market is, what your customers see you as, and what you should be carrying for more inventory.
Well, I tell you, that is wonderful. We got the 2 things I put on the screen earlier. I mean, let's talk about it. We got the dealerteamwork.com cars for sale. So if they, what is that? If they hit that up, dealerteamwork/cars-for-sale. Okay, if they put that in, Eric, what are they going to see?
James, you want to follow up on that?
What are they going to see, James?
First, what they're going to see is content on what Cars for Sale is. What is it going to do for you? So we're going to educate whoever goes to that landing page, and they're going to get a good customer experience. We're eating our old dog food here. We're making sure that we have content for the consumer.
So if we got a BDC person watching this, you need to take that to your general manager, because most general managers are just finally learning where the on switch on their computer is. Take it to your general manager and say, look at this. This is something we need to be doing.
It's digestible.
Take it to the decision maker. Take it to the sales managers. Remember, most sales managers learned their job by watching somebody got fired.
I like that one a lot. That was a good one.
Anyway, so what are they going to see, James? They're going to see how to use Cars for Sale, what it is, why it's important. I mean, Google My Business is free and it's available to all dealers, and so many people underutilize it. My gosh. I mean, there's so many opportunities there, and it's so vast that the opportunity with Google has just opened the floodgates. Unless you want car gurus knocking your ass off of the first 3 positions in Google, you better get onto it.
Jim, at the end of the day, dealers don't have to keep spending more money. Things have changed. Let's take a full court approach and use all of the channels. So what we're actually seeing is re-optimizing spend. I mean, there are some markets that Bing is performing better than it's ever done. Email blasts, equity mining. I mean, there's all kinds of things changing, but you should be investigating all of this. Google's made some major changes, and Facebook has made some major changes to make it easier to find the inventory. The number one thing is if people can't find your products and services, it's hard to buy from you. So our job is to make it as easy as possible to find the services people are looking for. The one thing I love about paid search, their ad intent. Based on their keywords what they're looking for. You don't have to create the ad intent. You just have to put the proper content in front of them and make it easy for them to connect what they're searching for to what you're selling or servicing.
I don't like statistics, and I don't like analytics, What are the first 4 letters of analytics? Come on. Yeah. So anyway, analytics. Okay. So anyway, the point is 89%, 91%. Most speakers just reach behind them and pull a number out of their anatomy. They make them up on the spot. But let's say a whole shitload, as a statistic, a whole shitload of people, most people, 90% of people are shopping for a payment. Yes. They're not shopping for a price. They're not shopping for a trade value. They're shopping for a monthly payment amount. And so everybody's advertising price point.
Doesn't make sense.
Talk to me about this.
been the philosophy since day one. James, I'll let you go next, but we believe in penny perfect payments, and we believe that you should have multiple ways of doing it. High dollar down, low dollar down, high mileage, low mileage. Give the consumer what they're looking for. People buy on payments, like you said, Jim. And since day one, Dealer Teamwork's been taking the products and services you sell and making it digestible for the consumer, putting it in their terms, the way they're shopping and they're buying, and it works. The conversions are off the chart. They're low funnel searches. The leads.
How many organic search words are you serving up on a specific unit or specific category?
Depends on the category. Lots. That could be hundreds or thousands. Depends on
another statistic. Whole shitload. Okay.
Yeah, shitload.
Well, Jim, balance it out like this as well. For what Sean was just talking about, being able to target those specific terms. And again, it's not just about one channel. I've said this for years now, and it rings true louder than ever, that dealers are finally, because of everything that's happened in the last 18 months, that they are suddenly getting all this traffic from organic channels as well. And they pulled back their spends. Now the light bulb goes off and they're saying to themselves, holy cow, I don't need to spend as much.
They can do business with you and reduce their budget and they stop buying leads that everybody else is also getting the same lead from the same vendor.
Yeah, and look at it like this. I'll break it down super simple again. As a dealer, I would always ask a couple of key questions. Where is my traffic coming from? Where's it coming from? Is it organic, paid, social, GMB, direct, referral, etc.? Or does it fall in that junk drawer? Is not found? And then next, what are the outcomes from those channels? That's two of the simplest steps that any marketer should be taking, regardless of the business or the product or the service offered. Any business worth their weight in gold is looking at those two steps as a model of their business.
Say the questions again. They went by kind of quick.
Where is the traffic coming from?
Okay.
And what are the outcomes from those traffic channels? So oftentimes we may see a dealer that is getting overloaded either on paid search. Maybe it's social. Maybe they're getting a ton of referral traffic, for whatever reason. But the point is, the dealers don't have a simple benchmark breakdown for what they are actually doing. And then without knowing that, why would you logically continue to spend more money, say, on one specific paid channel or campaign or ad type, that's powering much more traffic and essentially cannibalizing the traffic that from the channel that could be giving you the greater opportunity or the greater results and outcomes, possibly in a more efficient spend. So it takes a good marketer essentially to be able to look at that and break it down. And unfortunately, everybody is simply so close to it, they forget to do those basic steps. So that's one recommendation right there.
I'm going to ask you something. Can these people call you up directly?
They can call me anytime they want.
They can call me anytime, Jim. I am always ready to talk.
Well, is this the right number?
That is my personal cell phone.
Call
3 o'clock in the morning, you'll answer it?
Up, Eric, up. I'm up at this angle for you.
I'm just making a trail. Goes this way.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, perfect. And half the time Sean steals my phone and grabs it halfway through my conversation. But it could happen.
He's grabby like that, yeah.
But call me about anything. If you have leasing questions, if you have questions about GMB, local SEO, just in general, the insights you can get from GMB that can help your paid media providers with insights on who to go after. I mean, give me a shout. Let's chat. I mean, I did spend, 15 years on the showroom floor, working in all types of dealerships. I obviously got trained by Mr. Ziegler here in F&I Samurai training. And I always remember the sales manager super conference and all that kind of good stuff. And so we go way back, and so we've walked the walk and talked.
I trained you as a green pea. I raised you like grandfather and little grasshopper. I mean,
I actually remember sitting down for a breakfast at a Samurai Super Conference in Seattle with you, and I was shocked that I got about an hour and a half of your time one-on-one, and that's where our relationship started. And I think that's pretty cool. And the neat thing about you, Jim, is you connect directly with your audience and your base. I remember the first time I signed out for an F&I Samurai seminar, you called me personally right after I signed up. And I was shocked by that. And the neat thing about how you do that, it's the same culture we have at Dealer Teamwork. I did not found Dealer Teamwork. I didn't. The two guys underneath me on this screen did. And they've treated me like family ever since. And I got the lucky enough guy in the world to be able to work here at Dealer Teamwork. And those are the relationships, and that's the kind of relationship we want with our clients, just like you had with your clients. So I learned that from you. I learned that from Sean. I learned that from Eric. So I would love to, have those relationships with others in the industry as well.
Well said, James.
Thanks.
Jim, you taught me desking as well, bud. It's so old. They came on CDs, not DVDs. I still have it. It was a CD 4-set. So that means I think we're old.
Did Jim get struck by lightning again? Did he freeze up on us? Is that what happens when you give him a compliment?
Oh, no.
All right.
We can hijack his deal.
How come Eric gets to be in the middle? It's because he got
This is
the
our
best
show
hair.
now, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. What do we want to talk about?
This is great. Well, you know what I was going to add on to this. We'll fill this in until Mr. Ziegler gets back there. But you were talking about the data from Google My Business. A lot of dealers may not even be aware of some of the newer reporting features that are coming in, and there's some really cool things in there too. James, I don't know if you saw this too, but there was just the other day I was on the phone with a dealer, and we were able to look at their call history that's being tracked now. A lot of dealers may not even be aware that it's there. If it's there, go in, it's a simple button. You can toggle it on. It's free. And we showed this dealer like 2 months worth of data. It was like 4,200 calls in 2 months. And out of all those calls, they actually had 88 missed calls. It'll show you the calls that are missed. Well, that's a pretty low number, pretty good response. But still, Google will go the next step down and actually show you what day and time you were missing all of your calls on. And the most active time for missing their calls, something was going on with the dealer. We had a good laugh about it. At 8, I think it was 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. on Thursday mornings. That's when they missed the bulk of their calls. So something was changed there. Something was happening, and it was consistent over the last couple of months. So again, just one great example of some of the new things. And the point for sharing that, everybody, is the fact that you need to be prepared. And that's exactly what we want to try to do for all of our partners, is just set everybody up so they're prepared for the next thing. Google is putting together literally what I like to call a great reset in terms of the search and the search activities and the search tactics that are being put together, to leverage this massive machine that they've put together. There's a lot of cool things, that not only with Google My Business, but take notice of just the ad units that are being served up. A lot of things, even, I don't know if you've seen this too, James, but things like the featured, not only featured snippets, but the extra block that you see at the top.
Guys.
There we go. But I was saying, James, real quick, those search snippets, in terms of people also ask other features, a lot of those things are going away. Some new things are coming in. So it's just important to be aware of what Google's rolling out. So just be prepared. And that's what we want to help everybody do, is be prepared and get ready for that next wave of activity.
One thing really quick, Eric, while Jim logs back in here. We did have a comment earlier on the stream of local citations is the last thing you want your SEO partner tinkering with. This is one rare case, I believe, in automation. Eric, will you just touch on that for 1 second on how we handle our naps and if we're using automation?
Yeah, it's a great topic. It's a little confusing on that first part. I agree. You don't want to be tinkering with it on a manual basis. So to have a consistent and accurate automation system that is taking care of that for you seamlessly, again, behind the scenes, so you don't have to truly tinker with it. That's exactly the point. And you want to be able to have a system like that, because again, what is Google looking for? They're looking for consistency and accuracy to build authority around a business. That's it.
Exactly. And I just wanted to point out that is exactly how we built our system out. Now back to you, Jim.
I just got knocked on my chair. I mean, lightning. I hope we can finish the show. I mean, the last thing I said, I don't know what it was, but actually I went 3 feet back in my chair when the lightning hit both ears and just blasted my computer's.
Well, Jim, a lot of times people consider that necklace like a lightning chain. I mean, you got more jewelry on. You got to be careful in those deals. You got a lot of steel on your body. You might get zapped.
Yeah,
One of the first times I ever met Jim Ziegler, he goes like this: "I got your net worth from here up." He would show his rings. You need to pay attention to me because I got your net worth on my left hand. Like, whoa.
If you can't wear $100,000 on your left hand, what can you do? I was doing a seminar speech, a keynote speech for the Boston Globe newspaper, and I kept looking at my right hand, and somebody said, "Mr. Ziegler, why are you wearing two watches?" And I have a little vision problem, and I don't wear glasses when I do a speech. I said, "Well, this is a Seiko watch with a big white dial so I can see it. And this is a Rolex Presidential with 5 carats of diamonds so you can see it." Yeah. In the movie Smokey and the Bandit, the first time that Burt Reynolds met Sally Fields, she said, "What do you do?" He said, "I show off." That's what I do, I've always, people, I go in dealerships and people say, "Well, you can't do that here." Well, get out of that chair a second. Thank God dinosaurs aren't roaming the earth now. I try to ride one.
They have them. They're alligators when you were down in Florida, Jim.
Hey, let me tell you, I grew up with alligators. No problem. I mean, Jacksonville, Florida,
No problem.
When I was a kid, man, when I was 7, 8 years old, we used to tap the alligators with a stick and piss them off so they chase you. And they would almost catch up with you. You turn sharply because they just keep going straight. They have no maneuverability. And I look back as an adult, what if I would have fallen down or didn't occur to me
to be an adult.
As an 8-year-old, it never occurred to me that the gator might catch you.
Well, it didn't. And since you're a Georgia Bulldogs guy, you can't ever say a gator can catch you.
Oh no, gator can't get Alpha Dog.
There you go.
DAWG. Let me get back to something I want to do with you guys. I mean, let's do something really special. There are dealers watching this broadcast. I want to now, Sean, you're going to have to, you can be a little tight here. I want to give them a free analysis of their marketing.
That's fine.
I want you to do it.
The Dog, I'm cool with it. Because we want to give back to the industry. Whether they're coming to shop or buy, or they're going to stick with their current vendor, that's fine. We'll show you what we think. We'll show you why. We'll help educate it. We'd love to listen to your thoughts too. But let's do an audit, make sure we get rid of the wasteful stuff, and show you what we're doing right and where we might have some improvement.
Okay, so what I want to do is if they can call James and set an appointment, 406-595-4818, right on the screen. We will give them a free total analysis of their GMB, their marketing program, their cars for sale, everything. They can still use the tools we put on the screen earlier, but if they want a manual analysis from you guys and a full report, I know other companies are charging $5,000, $10,000 for this kind of a service, but and no obligation to do business with you. Demand that they buy your services. We're just going to show what's possible.
And please spread it out. I mean, we're very, very blessed to have signed one of the largest deals in company history this past month. So it's crazy that how things are going. COVID slowed stuff down, but man, the dealers are on fire again. And it's really a blessing. So please call. We'd love to. And let's talk about the results together.
Okay, this has been a great show. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Watching the dog get electrocuted 3 times.
It's great to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're doing well in health. You look fantastic. Always appreciate you having us, man.
Totally cancer free right now. People that watched my broadcast 2 years ago, I've lost 85 pounds.
Wow.
You probably thought I was anorexic, So it's good. It's real good. Yeah, it's a double state 3 times and it almost died. You know, I saw the white light, did not walk to it. You know, it's all good. So anyway, dealer teamwork. Now let me put those on the screen one more time so you have them at the end of the broadcast. If you want to see Cars for Sale and how to use it, what it's all about, you want to show it to your general manager, your dealer principal, there is a complete tutorial on Cars for Sale right there, why you need it, why local SEO is important. The other one is this one here, is your how effective is your SEO? Are you actually being seen in the local searches? There it is right there, local-SEO-audit. There it is. Okay, guys, anything we need to say before we bail out?
God bless you, Jim. Make sure we keep selling cars is fun and realize we're the best industry and the best country in the world. God bless.
Dealer teamwork. Take care, guys.
Appreciate everybody hanging out.